right, let's get it started. And of course, what's at the top? Of course, AMC's at the top there.
Oh, there's a story here too.
Easy story here to hit. Let's go to that one.
Yeah.
It looks like AMC was jumping and Ape stumbling as the court rules against the conversion settlement. And now it really creates kind of an indecision moment for investors here. What do you think, Dennis?
I don't follow the story very closely, but apparently there was a settlement, and now they're doubting the settlement, or the judges blocked the settlement. It's what they're saying on Twitter. I have not verified any of this information, but it makes sense with what the stock is doing. So basically, Ape wants to, what AMC wants to do is convert the Ape into the AMC. So now the settlement is not getting blocked. AMC is popping because obviously it's not good for AMC shareholders if Ape gets converted, because you're going to see those two prices converge very quickly. So Ape is trading down 11%. AMC is trading up 13% on this. Again, this is a tough arb to trade because the AMC borrow is simply too high. If there was no borrowing costs here, I think I would be long Ape and short AMC. But there is borrowing costs here, so I'm just not touching it. For the simple reason is that because I think eventually they do get this done, but I don't know for certain if it gets done. Nobody knows. But again, the borrow costs on AMC just keep me out of the trade. Last time we looked, it was 375% a year, which is basically 1% a day. So, I mean, if you're sitting out there trying to pick yourself up, and you can pick yourself up some money by being short it, but I mean, if you short this thing for 50 days, you got to make 50%. So that's a tough thing to do. So I just stay out of this. But as this headline, broke here last night, or at least was being passed around on Twitter, AMC started to rally and APE started to sell off.
All right, let's keep moving. Let's go.
I think the Ape could be a buy. It could be a buying opportunity. Again, though, if this conversion isn't allowed, if the Ape isn't allowed to be converted, then that's going to change things dramatically. I think eventually they're going to get a push through. I think that they might be able to eventually convert this, and Ape could be significantly higher. So I kind of like it as a pullback here to buy it, but I don't know if I have the guts to do it.
Yeah, it seems to me like a 50-50 trade, and I try to stay away from those, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that's true too much.
Yeah, that's what it just seems like. You don't know if it's going to go or not go. It's binary, right?
Trade.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, what about all this, all this talk about this and the conversion? And I mean, what about the company? What's going on?
Yeah, not looking good. Not looking good.
We didn't say anything bad about it, though, Joel, because if you say anything bad,
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying,
come and attack you. So I remember we made the rule a year and a half ago when I had people trying to, find me and kill me for saying something, that was taken out of context in a Reuters article. That you cannot say anything bad about AMC. So we've just, say, it's our thoughts. I did say all the way along when it's 50, I said eventually it's going to 5 is what I thought. That was my price target. And they eventually did make there. So again, I was early, but I think I was right on that one too.
I'm with you, Joel. The writing's on the wall. That's what I'll say. The
rating is not good, but we still love the Apes. The Apes, we love you, Apes.
You love them, Dennis.
We love you, Apes.
I'm not worried about it. You guys know where to find me at MoneyMitchBZ. Hit me up. I'll see you a little later. Leslie Pool Supplies here getting an upgrade. Let's take a look here. Loop Capital upgrading Leslie to a buy, announcing a $16 price target. It's up towards 11 right now, just butting up against this 11. What do you see on this chart? Joel, anything that you see here?
This 11's big. I don't know this firm and how much weight they carry, but this 11, this thing has been been underwater for quite a while here. But $11, I mean, you're up 56 cents. That's a big move. You just want to see this open up, get over 11. I'd even 11.16. And then you got a little bit more room on the upside, 11.50. Maybe not the greatest market day, but I don't know. People are looking for something to buy that's beat up. This is one of them to see it can hold 11. And how's Pool doing? That's been got hit too. Remember when everyone was
trade is over. The lockdown trade where everybody was dumping all their money into their homes because we were never going to go out and do anything again is over. So that bubble, which is still there a little bit in Pool, it started bubbling from 200, pun kind of intended, 323. So you're still 123 points up from where it started running on the COVID thing. I've seen full, a lot of these stocks that had these big COVID pops come all the way back to where they were prior to COVID. So I'd be concerned that this could do the same. But, again, there's valuation to consider. I don't look at these companies close enough to analyze it that far, but just looking at this, just thinking, outside the box, it hasn't had full circle here yet. So I'd be cautious on Pool and Leslie.
Okay, I'll let you guys finish up and be back with you later on.
All right, I do see one that's interesting here. It's seeing up car up today.
One trade off exchange.
CARR. There you go. That's what it was. I was wondering if for a second there if it was Avis budget. I was going to be surprised there.
Let's go to the down. Let's go to the down.
Yeah, let's go see. Let's see on the downside action.
So I got about 3 minutes to with you.
All right, let's run through that.
Costco,
of course,
looks
Costco,
like
you can see that. Yeah,
we talked it already.
We talked about this one. CN.
We covered pretty good. Sienna, we got Costco.
Super Microcomputers, SMCI taking a hit.
I haven't looked at that one in a while. What's up? SMCI. That's for real. That is down $6 here. Sometimes it's an odd print, but no, that's for real. So what's the headline here?
Let me see if I got something on Benzinga Pro here.
Mitch, go and look here.
Looks like we got a Wedbush downgrade here. Wedbush downgrade of Super Microcomputers to underperform and announcing a $65 price target.
Woo, $65. That's a big rating. Who's the analyst on that one?
Wedbush.
No, do we know who though? Let
me see. Yeah, I have to look into it here. Let me see. I just got to go in the calendar.
If we go into the calendar. Here, I'm looking too. I'm trying to beat you to it. Underperforming. Go in the Benzinga. We're ratings.
Matt Bryson.
Matt.
What
a call. Matt's making a bold call. I like this call for the simple reason it's outside the box. It's a contrarian call. He's, trying to stand out here. And I mean, be bold, make bold calls. Instead of just being a lemming going with it, it's a contrarian call going with it. I always respect analysts that come and make contrarian calls. So not enough do it.
From our rating, he has a 72% success rate.
Oh, that's pretty good too. So when you're looking at ratings, when you see that sell word, they usually hit the stock hard and ask questions later. We saw that yesterday with ONON. I mean, you got the sell rating. Wasn't it downgrade to sell yesterday or downgrade to neutral? I think it was downgrade to sell. ONON yesterday.
ONON, I think it was a sell.
Yeah, so you get that sell rating. They really hit stocks a lot harder than you can think. So obviously yesterday was Bank of America, I believe, on putting their sell on and a price target of $19 or something on ONON. And it got hit, and it did take out the 30 support. Does it get back up there? I don't think the story's over here yet in ONON, but it's going to cool off. Maybe I think about like the 50% retracement from like 20 was really, the bottom, just going back 2.5 weeks ago to 33. Get that 26 area, or even, not to fill the gap up, maybe just get down. I don't know if it's going to go that low, 25 to 50. I think I'd be a buyer on this somewhere on the pullback here. I don't think the story is over. I think it's just cooling off. Big difference. Sometimes the story you feel like is over and it's time to get out of the stocks. And other times it's just like, oh, it's going to go to a cooling period. So I think this is a cooling period for ONON. I still kind of like the company.
Big day for stocks like this. I feel like Snow, the growth stocks. We talked about it, how Kathy Wood rejected that 40 move. We'll look to see if the growth stocks can get a move again, right? Or will we start seeing those names sell off? We were starting to see them move. Like one of the ones that I was looking at, and I'm glad I sold it on the first move, was Unity on that 10% up day. It's right back to it. And so that's where we got to be careful today. That could flush right through. And so we'll see if this can come back. Some of these growth names like the ARKK names.
The biggest problem is with the growth names is you don't have like valuation support. And what does that mean? It means at a certain point, like when you're buying like a Johnson & Johnson, there's just value there where there's value investors that will come in and save the day, and it stops certain stocks from just going lower once the valuations get to a certain level. On all these growthy names that aren't making money, you don't have that. So when the momentum breaks, they can get really ugly really fast. And when the momentum traders are out, the value guys don't touch that stuff. So you don't have any support. So you just don't have buyers. And that's where you get these flushes like 6, 7, 10% in a day. And you're like, holy cow, why is nobody coming in? Well, the momentum guys are saying, oh, no, it's lost its momentum. I'm out. And the value guys are saying, not touching that at all. So, I mean, that's why, from a long-term perspective, I try to pick on more value approach. Because I feel like, I don't feel like a Pfizer is going to lose, unless it has a lawsuit or something against it, And again, I've been wrong with the Pfizer too, way too early, way wrong on that one. But I feel like, you know, when you're picking on these, Merck was one of my best long-term holdings. AbbVie was one of my best long-term holdings. Abbott Labs, one of my best long-term holdings. You know, I was buying these at reasonable valuations years ago in troughs. And, you know, it was 2011, 2012 in the European financial crisis, because Europe did have the financial crisis kind of after us when the European banks were all having trouble. That I was able to pick some of these up at really low valuations, picking up at 6, 7, 8 times earnings. Eli Lilly as well. My original purchase on Eli Lilly, I think, was $31. It's $362. Was it 31? Let's go. Can you go back to like 2009, 2010 on Lilly? I'm just curious because we talk short term so much. I don't know how far you can go back. We're going to put TradeZero to the test here. How far can they go back? Oh, they go back a long ways.
2018 there, but I'm sure we can pull it
I mean,
back
there's
a little
ways
bit
to go
further.
further back here too. Anyways, we're at the TradeZero segment, but just my point being is that if you're a long-term investor, buy good companies at reasonable valuations.
I agree with that.
When you don't have on a Unity, I don't have any valuation to lean on. The company doesn't make money. And if they tick positive for a quarter, that's not, you know, sometimes, you know, that's not like a history of, you know, good companies at reasonable valuations. I mean, you know, a Google and Microsoft and Apple, these companies are going to be there. Even if you're paying elevated valuations, 23, 24 times earnings, the odds are they're not getting cut in half from there. Is Apple going back down to 12 times earnings? Probably not. I mean, it could, but probably not. So that's why my approach with my long-term investing, which is probably, you know, why my beta on my long-term investment portfolio is a lot less, is I take a more conservative approach to it. Because that's the money that I've made, it worked hard for trading, and then I turn around, you know, and obviously invest that money. Well, I don't want my investments to have all this risk. I take enough risk in the markets on a daily basis that I don't need to go in and take huge risks in my long-term portfolio. I do at times. You know, I do throw in some other things, but I give those a short leash. If I throw something in the longer-term portfolio, I like to set up shorter leash if it's, you know, one of those higher beta names.
We'll see what happens to these healthcare names today, and will tech continue the turnaround? And like always, you guys can check out, of course, TradeZero if you guys are looking, especially for some short locates out there. Definitely, TradeZero has an extensive inventory of short locates. Just threw up the link so you guys can get, of course, TradeZero Zero Pro, their flagship software.